Hello, and thank you for clicking on my video. Now, if you haven't seen any of the other videos in this series, my name is Alex, and I'm an actor and a writer, and I live here in Tasmania, in Australia. Now, the story you're about to listen to is another one in my series set in Dinosaur Dell, which is a village entirely inhabited by dinosaurs and other prehistoric reptiles. This story is story number 13. The story of Florence Fosterovenator, who simply loved to sing. So there might be some singing in this one. And if you're wondering who the very noisy baby is based on in this story, it's my nephew Finn, but when he was very much younger. Under the volcano. And not too far from the sulphur springs and the pits of tar. In the middle of a forest of tall tree ferns, you'll find some houses where the footpath turns. This is where I live. You can tell from the roars, my neighbours are all dinosaurs. I'm Alex the Alxosaurus. Hello. Now, once upon 70 million years ago... Wait. Which of the stories shall I tell about the dinosaurs living in Dinosaur Dell? The story of Florence Fosterovenator, who simply loved to sing. This little house is number 6. So quiet Archaeopteryx are perched upon the garden trees, dozing in the summer breeze. From within, there's not a sound. There's blissful silence all around. All is peaceful, all is still. You'd hear a feather drop until... Do as in Diplodocus, Ray as in Tyrannosaur. Goodness me, that noise is me, Fosterovenator. Guas in Iguanodon, I'm sure. That noise is... So starts Soraya Titan's name. La is a large Laplatosaur. That noise... T is of course Pteranodon. And we've had the once before. As I was saying, that noise, which would regularly shatter the peace of Dinosaur Dell every morning, afternoon and evening, was the voice of Florence Fosterovenator. We joked in Dinosaur Dell that we might all say that Florence Fosterovenator couldn't sing, but none of us could say that she didn't sing. Here she goes again. Raindrops on raptors and bones from a fossil. Dinosaurs tiny or fierce and colossal. Spikes on a stegosaur, pterosaur wings. These are some jolly Jurassic-y things. Now, singing made Florence very happy. She didn't care much what she sang or how much of the tune she managed, or if the words made any sense, but just so long as she could sing, she was happy. So she would sing anything, anywhere, and to anyone. She would sing hip-hop, playing hopscotch, and swing on the swings. She would sing blues in the greenhouse and house music in the garden. She would sing pop to her father and mambo to her mother. And she would sing in the shower until the lather got into her mouth and turned her singing into a soap opera. But the one thing that Florence wanted more than anything else was for someone to join in with her and turn her solo into a duet, or even a trio. But neither her mother nor her father were very interested in her singing, even when it was a tune they knew perfectly well. Head, shoulders, knees and claws. Head, shoulders, knees and claws. And eyes and ears and snout and jaws.
Darling, Mother is very busy with these notes for my meeting later on.
Please go and sing somewhere else. Why was Mrs. Fosterovenator always busy with those sorts of notes and not the musical sort, which were much more fun? Twinkle, twinkle, trilobite, why are you still up at night?
Darling, Daddy is looking for his keys. He's already late for his golf game. Please go and sing somewhere else.
Well, Florence couldn't find her keys any more than her father could, but that didn't stop her singing, so why wouldn't he join in? It was the same all day long. Big Brachiosaurus said to little May, you're the cutest bird like dinosaur I ever did see. I sure would be delighted by your company. Come on and sing Jurassic Rock with me. Darling, Mother is very tired, said Mrs. Fosterovenator, powdering her scales in the bathroom mirror. Oh, the state of my scales after a day at work. Please, go and sing somewhere else. Florence didn't care about the state of her scales. She just wanted someone to sing with her. Somewhere over the volcano, way up high.
Darling, Daddy is very tired, said Mr. Fosterovenator. He needs a glass of tonic after that round of golf. Please, go and sing somewhere else.
Florence just wanted someone to sing with her, and couldn't understand why her father wouldn't want a musical tonic. It's Supercarnoraptortastic Extincto Cretaceous. That's a word that you can sing if you're feeling audacious.
Florence, will you please go and sing somewhere else?
Shouted Mr. and Mrs. Fosterovenator crossly. Which was always what eventually happened. Florence would wander off and try to find someone else to sing with her, since neither her mother or father would. But her friends Fontaine the Martiosaurus and Zanchausaurus only wanted to dance, not sing. Rex, the Tyrannosaurus, who lived around the corner, was a classical actor, so he wouldn't sing. Her neighbour, Tracy Triceratops, was too busy with the flowers in her garden to sing, and Brigadier Euoplocephalus just bellowed at her to keep the noise down when she tried to sing him a lullaby. Thomas the Trigonosaurus apologised, saying that he really couldn't sing, but that maybe Florence should try the Hadrosaur chorus, as they were always rehearsing songs together. So she auditioned for them. You better not growl, you better not roar, you better not howl, I'll tell you what for. Santana Raptor's coming to town. No, said Corythosaurus Aguilera. No, said Magnapaulia McCartney. No, said Adam Lambeosaurus. No, said Charonosaurus Carpenter. So Florence would wander back home again and would start singing again, until her mother and father shouted at her to stop. And so it went on. Until one day, Florence's mother and father announced that Mrs. Fosterovenator was going to lay an egg, which meant that Florence would have a new baby brother.
Your mother will need a lot of rest, said Mr. Fosterovenator, so she will need peace and quiet, so absolutely no singing.
And if singing made Florence very happy, not singing made her equally unhappy. But because she knew that Mrs. Fosterovenator needed peace and quiet, she managed not to sing for a whole 2 months, whilst her mother hatched the egg. So when her little brother hatched, she thought she would welcome him with an especially fancy song that she had learned in French class. Allosaurus, gentil Allosaurus, Allosaurus, je te plumerai.
Florence, will you keep the noise down? Bellowed Mr. Fosterovenator. Baby Finn needs his sleep.
Florence was heartbroken. All she had wanted to do was sing to her new baby brother, Finn, and really she'd waited so long to sing again. A week went by, and if Mr. and Mrs. Fosterovenator hadn't been interested in joining in her songs with her before, they certainly weren't now. They were kept busier than ever by Finn Fosterovenator, feeding him and changing him and burping him and changing him and rocking him and changing him again. And if ever Florence so much as looked like singing, Finn needs his sleep. But baby Finn did not sleep. At all. Night and day, all he did was... Until one night, Florence couldn't stand listening to his crying any more. So she sang the loudest song she knew to drown out the noise. You shake my scales and you rattle my spikes. An asteroid is what no dino likes. You broke my frill, but what a thrill! Goodness Cretaceous, great ball of fire! And when she'd finished, there was peace and quiet. Her baby brother was sitting, gurgling delightedly, looking at Florence. "Oh, that's the first time he stopped crying," said Mrs. Fosterovenator.
I think you're right, darling, said Mr. Fosterovenator.
And then Finn started crying again. So Florence sang once more to him, the first song that came into her head. Reptile as old as time, just what can you be? No one yet has solved quite how you evolved so unexpectedly. And she kept singing as her baby brother cooed contentedly and dozed off into dreams. "Someone likes my singing," said Florence, full of glee. "And maybe when he's older, Finn will sing along with me." Her mother and her father both looked at one another.
A singing daughter's bad enough, but now a little brother?
Still she sang him fast asleep. Finn opened one eyelid.
"Florence, darling, sing, please sing!"
And that's just what Florence did. Here's some more about my story. Singing is very good fun. I know that when I'm feeling down, singing can make me feel happy again in no time at all. Now, I don't know as many songs as Florence, but here are some you might like to try. This first song is about my friend, Stig, the Stegosaurus. You might know the tune called The Grand Old Duke of York, but this is the Dinosaur Dell version. Oh, there is a friend of mine called Stig a Stegosaur. Plates on his back and spikes on his tail, but between them I'm not sure. For where there are plates, and where there are spikes, there are spikes. But between on his rump there are just some bumps, which are neither plates nor spikes. Oh, there is a friend of mine called Stig a Stegosaur. Plates on his back and spikes on his tail, but between them I'm not sure. For where there are plates, and where there are spikes, there are spikes. But between on his rump there are just some bumps, which are neither plates nor spikes. For an extra challenge, sing it through once and then sing it again, but this time replacing the word plates with a hand clap. Then sing it a third time, replacing the word plates with a hand clap and the word spikes with a finger snap. Then a fourth time, replacing the word plates with a hand clap, the word spikes with a finger snap, and the word bumps with blowing a raspberry. You might know the tune called Row, Row, Row Your Boat, but this is the Dinosaur Dell version. Swish and sway your tail like a dinosaur. Romp and stomp and chomp your food and don't forget to roar. Swish and sway your tail like a dinosaur. Romp and stomp and chomp your food and don't forget to roar. For an extra challenge, you can sing it together as a round, which means you all start singing at different times to make harmonies. So one person starts, and when they get to the end of swish and sway your tail, They carry on singing, but the next person starts with swish and sway your tail, so they overlap. Your grown-ups might know the song called An English Country Garden, so they can teach you the tune, but this is the Dinosaur Dell version. It's quite wordy, so you'll need to work hard to get all the words out. Here we go with verse 1. How many strange plants do you think might grow in a great Cretaceous forest? I'll tell you some, but there's lots that I don't know, so I'll need your help with my list. Cycads and magnolia trees, palms sway gently in the breeze, equisetums that grow high as your knees, ginkgo, sequoia, and many more species in a great Cretaceous forest. And here comes verse 2. How many creatures can you count that crawl in a great Cretaceous forest? I'll tell you some, but I just don't know them all, so I'll need your help with my list. Ants and spiders, moths and bees, birds and lizards in the trees, tortoises and turtles in twos and in threes, camouflaged chameleons no one ever sees in a great Cretaceous forest. Are you ready for the final verse? How many dinos do you know that dwell in a great Cretaceous forest? I'm sure you've met some who live here in the dell, so I'll need your help with my list. Tyrannosaurus proadu, Triceratops and Rugops too, Ankylosaurus, Microraptor and Urkatu, Iguanodon and Bimini, just to name a few, in a great Cretaceous forest.
Well, thank you for joining me for a story from Dinosaur Dell. I hope that you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed writing it and telling it. Now, one day I'd obviously like to turn all of my Dinosaur Dell stories into storybooks that anyone can read at home, perhaps using some of the character drawings and photos of Tasmania that you saw on the screen while I was reading the story. I'd love to hear from you, so if you enjoyed the story, or you'd just like to say hello, or even better, tell me who your favourite dinosaur is, please let me know in the comments below, or do visit my website www.alexscottfairley.com, and hopefully I'll see you next time for another story from Dinosaur Dell. Bye for now.